Don't screw it up. It's very simple.
It's like you told me not to mess it up.
Already talking in there.
You know I'm gonna mess it up.
All right.
How'd you do this to me every time?
We are good on Facebook.
Awesome.
Which means we're gonna be good on Facebook here or YouTube right about now. So if you want to go ahead and run away with the intro,
I'll run away with it. I might not put it back down. Welcome to the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate, brought to you by Fantasy Focused and the Original Hooters. I am Sam Holt, joined as always by my wonderful co-host Derek Tate. Derek, how are you and what are we drinking tonight? I've got White Claw for our normal Wine Wednesdays.
I thought it was Wine Wednesdays. You can't go ahead and change it the very next week.
I didn't want to open the bottle and I had this, so we're going White Claw. And the mango is amazing.
So I'm going with Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know if I even said that correctly.
You did not, but that's okay.
It's a white wine. So on Wine Wednesdays, I'm being consistent. That's what I want to be every week here on the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate. I want to be consistent, Sam. So, I mean, just call me wonderful every week and keep drinking White Claw. Press on.
All right, I'm just going to glance over that because I'm not going to call you that. But anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. And please leave your comments for questions for your lineups in the comments, and we will get to them as soon as we can. And we actually have a couple right now from my league mate, Michael Johnson. Thanks, Michael, for joining us. He has Sutton, Woods, T. Will, Scary Terry. Who's the odd man out of this group for this week?
So, Michael Johnson, first off, I always find it weird when you have, first off, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hitting us on the live show. Thank you for hitting us with your questions. But I always find it weird to answer your league mate's question.
Yeah, if you don't want to give like your full opinion, I'm fine with it. Although this year he's not doing as amazing as he's done in years past in our league. So it's fine. It is what it is.
Gotcha.
I love you, Michael. It's okay.
Point being, and by the way, we've had this conversation on Fantasy Focused, the normal podcast with Ryan Levy, Matt Bucks, that I hate the fact that they just stole Terry Rozier's nickname over from the Boston Celtics and slapped it on Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
I hate that.
No, we've discussed it too. I've heard a couple other ones for like F1 for like McLaurin. It's been a good one, but I just feel like it doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So we can work on that and workshop it later.
The touchdown scoring, Terry McLaurin, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, son of a, get it, Ric Flair? Anyway, so back to your question, Michael. Sutton, Woods, T. Will, or Terry McLaurin. First off, I'm starting Courtland Sutton, period. I mean, we saw him put up a pretty respectable week. The first week we saw Brandon Allen under center. I think that with Emmanuel Sanders now in San Francisco, people have been trying to write off Sutton's production for most of the year, and the man just continues to play at a high level. And there was a reason why they felt comfortable getting rid of Emmanuel Sanders. It's because they've seen enough from Sutton to move forward with him being the leader of that wide receiver group. And yeah, I mean, are the Denver Broncos going to struggle on offense from time to time? Absolutely. But I believe in his talent. So out of those players you just named, I 100% feel the most comfortable starting Courtland Sutton.
But who's the one that you're immediately just like, no, would not start this week? Because for me, that would have to be, I'm guessing your T. Will, Michael, is Tyrell Williams of the Raiders. He has just been nothing but, he started off on a high, and it has been nothing but plateauing down and big, steep slide this past week with only 5.5 PPR points. And that's just not startable. That's full bench worthy. I just think it's been a consistent slide for him. So to me, the odd man out of who I would not want to start this week would have to go to Tyrell.
But what about Terry McLaurin? I mean, what about this Redskins offense? What about the fact that we're going to be...
He is the Redskins offense. He is all they have. He is their one...
Adrian Peterson's been playing pretty damn good.
He has been playing really good. I don't want to disrespect the veteran. He has been really good and consistent and, a force in that locker room. Like, clearly, he is the heartbeat that's keeping this team alive in the back. But just the disappointment, the slide. Just for me, that's why Tyrell just has to be the odd man out. I feel like McLaurin, he's got the Jets this week. It's like they're fine. They're not awesome. It's not a stellar matchup. It's also not a horrible one. I feel like I would see more.
You're right. It's not a slam dunk of a matchup, but I do like the Raiders matchup a little bit more, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who just got absolutely dismantled by Lamar Jackson, who posted a perfect passer rating. I mean, keep in mind, Lamar Jackson was one of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to throw 3 touchdowns, run for 1 against this defense, and post a perfect passer rating. The other 2, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Montana. And then we look at what he did. He's the 2nd quarterback in NFL history to post a perfect passer rating twice in the same season. The only other man to do that, Ben Roethlisberger. So, I mean, has a lot more to say about Lamar Jackson than it does probably, Tyrell Williams this week. But the Cincinnati Bengals, they were dissected on every level, every front. I don't see how you don't feel good about Tyrell Williams going against the secondary.
Yeah,
Do you agree with me?
I agree with you, but no, I'm going to stick to my guns. I still, of these 4, I would not start T. Will. I would start Scary Terry over him. And we can pick another name. I know you don't like it, but and actually
more so Dwayne Haskins, to be honest with you. Dwayne Haskins, I thought that Case Keenum looked competent under center. I mean, granted, I didn't think he looked great. It's not like I thought he was an all-pro. Please, I'm not saying that. But no. I thought he at least looked competent, an NFL veteran that has come in and had some level of success in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we saw that's who Terry McLaurin has had all of his fantasy value with this season. And they're moving forward with Dwayne Haskins, who is the starter for the rest of the year. And Haskins has been horrible. So I don't trust Haskins, which means indirectly, I don't trust Terry McLaurin.
No, I totally get that. Actually, Tyler jumping in. Thanks for joining us again, Tyler. Jumping in with this saying, McLaurin with Haskins at QB scares me. Haskins looks so bad. Kind of going off of what you just said.
Spot on with that, Tyler.
Hashtag analysis. One more from Michael. And this one actually is perfect for you. Is OJ back from the grave?
Has he been resurrected? Has everything?
Is he pulling the zombie move? Is he back to life?
Personally, I'm not a big fan of zombie type movies, zombie apocalypses, zombie video games.
How do you not like zombie stuff? We have so much in common, and you're just dropping this on me now?
I hate to break it to you.
Unfriend.
That's rude. That's very rude. That's harsh. That's a harsh thing.
Fine, I
wouldn't unfriend you because you don't like Game of Thrones, which is a big mistake on your part. But I still forgive you. Point is,
I don't like it. I just never watched it because I don't have that in me.
What's going to change about OJ Howard's role moving forward? Do we feel like all of a sudden in week 10 against a defense that has struggled against opposing tight ends all season long in the Arizona Cardinals, do we really feel as if that is going to be a vote of confidence for OJ Howard for the rest of the season? I personally don't. Of course, the physical tools are there. But the only other argument that I can flip the other side of the coin, tight end is an absolute wasteland. Austin Hooper just went down they said, could be up to a month.
Yeah.
And Quid said we never confirmed that it's going to be a month. But the point is, it's very dicey at tight end. So, I mean, if you can get one good week, you've seen enough, and Winston has to throw the ball over the yard, he's certainly worth throwing as a streaming option if you have another good matchup or you're in a pinch with all the bye weeks.
Yeah, this is absolutely just a bye week fill-in, tempering your expectations immediately just because, again, yes, so many teams on a bye, but if you have no other option, I mean, he did have a good week last week. He will not have the same week going against the Saints, who have been much stronger. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you there.
That was a very deceiving stat line that Jameis Winston had earlier this year against the New Orleans Saints as well. He threw 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. However, he had 2 interceptions called back and a fumble that he should have lost. I mean, it ended up being a clean game on the stat sheet and the box score, but easily could have been a disaster for Jameis Winston. I expect the Saints to bounce back in a big way after being humiliated against the Falcons.
After that kind of humiliation, they're going to have an insane game.
What the hell was that about?
No idea. It was like they got scared by their ex-girlfriend walking into the room. Like, what? You just like shriveled up and became nothing? Like, what is happening?
Don't talk about my past like that. I don't want to talk about my past experiences and air my dirty laundry, Samantha. That's not nice.
You know what? We want people to know us. So if I have to air your dirty laundry, I will.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so
we have more questions, though. So let's just get a couple more of these out, and then we will roll right into our topics. Thank you for joining us, Aiden Tabor. We appreciate you. In this list, we have Christian Kirk, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Emmanuel Sanders and Tyler Boyd. Should I trade Miles Sanders for DJ Moore? And off of that, pick 3, by the way.
So we have a trade question and pick 3 of those options.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go with the trade or the pick 3 first.
Okay.
So I know that the San Francisco 49ers are, I think, the best defense in the NFL. No disrespect to the New England Patriots. But
a lot of people could argue that they've just had not tough matchups, and that's why the defense has been so good.
I don't know.
Beginning of the season, they didn't have.
I mean, I know that the Seahawks scored 27 points, which I think the final score was 27-24. Seahawks beat the 49ers. But really, there was a defensive touchdown scored. Jimmy Garoppolo started turning the ball over quite a bit.
Yeah.
I still thought that defense showed up. And really, through the first half, I mean, they really bottled up Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson, who's looked unstoppable this entire year. So the Niners, even though Christian Kirk is coming off of a huge monster week
Monster game. Absolutely crazy.
3 tutties on 6 receptions, and I think it's 164 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably wrong. But anyway.
That's probably good, right? That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I am going to go with Curtis Samuel as one of my starters amongst this group. Same with Tyler Boyd. I'm still going to go with the volume play for Tyler Boyd. Curtis Samuel's going up against the Atlanta Falcons secondary. Do I think that they've all of a sudden, after the bye week, figured out how in the hell that they're going to be able to stop opposing offenses after they put it on the Saints? I don't buy into it quite yet. I'm going with Samuel. I'm going to roll with Kirk despite his great week. I'm just saying exercise caution because the only reason why I'm not going with Emmanuel Sanders is because he's dinged up. So for me, Kirk, Samuel, Boyd. But if Sanders is healthy, then I would consider Samuels over Kirk. Or Sanders over Kirk, sorry.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just gonna mirror that statement for you there too. I'm just picking the same 3 because I completely agree with you. These are great matchups. I do think Christian Kirk is not going to have as great of a game, but it is great to see his utilization, and you've got that trust there with Kyler Murray. That's huge. So I think that's great. So now, back to the back half of this question.
Okay.
Should he trade Miles Sanders for DJ Moore? Now, to me, if you already have Curtis Samuel, I don't like the idea of going back and forth between which of these 2 do I start.
Correct. Don't want to do that.
I understand not wanting to have Miles Sanders, though. He has been a little bit disappointing, and he has a really tough matchup this week. We will get to him later as he's one of my do not starts for the week. And personally, I just traded away DJ Moore, so I know that he is a little bit on the up and up, and it might be a little bit crazy, but I traded him to get Julio Jones in a dynasty league so I can win this year. It's a little bit different circumstances. So
it is a little bit different. I'm not an advocate of ever trading for 2 wide receivers on the same team unless they're like a prolific offense and a prolific passing attack. You know, and that's no offense to Kyle Allen, who's had himself a very solid season out of nowhere. But DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, I mean, on any given week, do you even feel comfortable starting one of them? I mean, much less do you ever want to roll them both out? So does it really make your team that much better? And does it really diversify your options? I don't think it does. So I personally wouldn't do it.
No, I completely agree. I don't think that I would either. So hopefully, Aiden, we answered your question with that. And with that, one more real quick one. Will Jenkins is with us tonight. Will, thank you again for joining us. One of our besties. Always happy to have you.
Welcome back, pal.
Nice. Perfect. All right, so let's just jump into one of our segments. And hey, guys, if you have any more questions, we have no problem going off the rails and answering your questions right away. So please leave them in the comments below, and we will get to them ASAP.
On Wine Wednesday. Yep.
On Wine Wednesday. And every time we say 4 teams on a bye, everyone has to drink.
Oh, don't do that to me. Not while in mid-pour. That's not nice.
So you're refilling.
Let's go. What do we got on the docket today? What's on topic?
All right, so we've got our best free agent pickup of week 11. Now, as we talked pre-show, I feel like this one's pretty obvious, but it can't go without stating what a great start this is. Because I worry that when people see a great free agent pickup, they pick them up and they second guess starting them as the week rolls in. They're like, but is it the best choice? This is definitely the best choice. And that would be Brian Hill of Atlanta. Devonta Freeman is out with a foot sprain. Ito Smith is out with a concussion. So he faces an awesome matchup against the Panthers, who boast one of the worst rush defenses in the league this season. I do see Kenyon Barner getting opportunities in the passing game, but specifically in this last game when Hill got onto the field, He had 20 carries on 36 snaps.
I know, that's nuts.
That's huge. That's immediate. Oh, this is now the guy. This isn't a question mark of will he be the guy? So no questions there. He's going to be the guy. So that was exciting. Immediately slide him into your lineups. I would slide him in right there as fast as I slide into Christian McCaffrey's DMs week to week.
And have you gotten, what's the response rate?
It's not good.
All right. Okay, shoot your shot there, Samantha. Shoot your shot.
You gotta take your shots. You miss 100% of shots, you don't take Michael Scott.
That is 100% true. So I'm not hating. Once upon a time, I've missed quite a bit, and I'm not going to talk about that here. So it's fine because I always win. And speaking of winning, I 100% agree with Brian Hill. Brian Hill probably is the top and should be the top priority. It's not very often that you're seeing a running back that is going to get guaranteed volume in week 11 just sitting on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
And I believe heading into yesterday, I think he was owned in like less than 5% of leagues according to ESPN league. So if Brian Hill's there, go get him. There's nothing wrong with starting him this week. I even like the matchup. But another player that I'd like the matchup for that should be available is Raheem Mostert. And Raheem, when you think of garbage, think of Raheem. No, I'm kidding. If you know what I'm referencing, then fantastic. If you don't, go watch Coming to America for God's sake. But when we're talking about Matt Breida, who just re-aggravated an ankle injury, it's almost like he aggravates an ankle injury every single year at some point in the middle of the season, and it happened this past week against the Seattle Seahawks. And of course, we see Raheem Mostert in true Kyle Shanahan fashion. He likes to rotate in his running backs, and we saw him coming against Seattle and rip off 28 yards rushing on 6 carries at 4.7 yards a clip. And of course, he can do some work catching the ball in the backfield too. He caught one pass, and this was with Matt Breida being healthy, I think, the entire first half. So Mostert, which it drives me nuts because I don't know what you see when you watch Raheem Mostert play. I see a guy that's like a starting caliber running back as far as pure ability to carry the football. It drives me mad because I think
drives you mad. Crazy mad? Are you getting red?
It pisses me off because this guy can play, and unfortunately, he's just buried on the depth chart beneath Tevin Coleman, who Kyle Shanahan has ties with back to his Atlanta days, and Matt Breida, who is Matt Breida, and he's playing very well and deserves to be seeing touches and carries. But Mostert seems to make the most of his opportunities when given a chance. And against an Arizona defense that is pretty leaky and actually saw both Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber find the end zone last week.
Oh, yeah.
If they could find the end zone, then you can be best sure that not only Tevin Coleman, but also Raheem Mostert can find the end zone, even on just like somewhere between 10 to 12 total touches.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a pretty good plug and play there, especially for DFS. He'd probably be pretty cheap.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, that's the one good thing about when these injuries do happen. Now, of course, if we're talking about DFS strategy, it was a whole different conversation, but they can be a little bit chalky if you're guys like Brian Hill or Raheem Mostert, because they are so cheap, but they're going to see volume and their opportunity shoots through the roof. Yeah. They're going to be kind of chalky, but they are absolutely fantastic as far as options for this week if you're in a pinch.
Yeah, definitely. Someone I want to bring up, and I know that he's on a bye because 4 teams are on a bye.
Oh,
drink.
Damn it, Sam. You know what? This shouldn't even be the person who says it should have to drink. This should not be like I want to see Derek drink. So here, I'm going to go ahead and say the catchphrase. Now you sound like, by the way, anybody that's tuning in right now, if you ever want to black out watching a football game, then go ahead, take a shot or take even a drink of the weakest beer that you can find, your Mike's Hard Lemonade or something like that. Every time Joe Buck says pass is caught on a live broadcast, I promise you will black out by halftime.
I mean, we were talking about this last week during Thursday night. So if you're suggesting this game, should people just call in sick before they play the game?
They should call in sick to work if they're going to play this game. Yeah,
don't play on Thursday night. That's what I mean. Call in sick on Friday.
We know Joe Buck is going to be calling the Thursday night football game, so just beware.
Guys, just miss every day of work for the rest of the season. Just so
like the old song from The Lion King. Scar says, "Be prepared. Be prepared to call in sick," or I'm still recovering from my hangover from playing that game last Thursday night.
Oh my God. One player I want to bring up real quickly. I know that he is on a bye, but
Okay.
Jacob Hollister.
Yes.
He is. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was looking. I wanted to see his percent roster. This has to be wrong. I feel like ESPN just hasn't updated. It says 10.7% rostered. That's
absurd.
That has to be wrong, right? Like maybe my internet is just really crappy and it's not updating because it has to be wrong. He has had a stellar last couple of weeks, and I know that you can't play him this week, but if he's available, absolutely stash this guy away. If you've been streaming tight ends the whole season, this guy and the way that the Seahawks are playing, I mean, you don't want to miss out on those points.
We already talked about how the tight end position is an absolute wasteland.
Yeah.
So go ahead, and a guy that scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, including one that was basically he learned from the David Tyree graduation school of pinning the football on your helmet, was a fantastic catch on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
I mean,
he caught it with his hand in his face.
It was fantastic. It was a great catch. Way to use your head there, pal. But Hollister should absolutely be owned, period.
Yeah.
Like, and enough jokes aside, like Hollister can play, can certainly do some nice things as far as catching the ball in the passing game, and Russell Wilson's finding him, and it certainly has enough confidence to go ahead and pull the trigger and get him involved. So if you have an MVP candidate that feels comfortable throwing the football to a tight end this year, pick him up. Even on a bye week, he's worth a roster spot.
Even on a bye. And this was against the Niners, who have been a team that you are second guessing everyone you're starting against them.
Right.
100%. This was 10 targets. This was 8 receptions, 62 yards, and a touchdown. You love that. So
take that.
Yeah. The following week they've got the Eagles, they've got Minnesota, they've got the Rams, then they got Carolina. I mean, I feel like this, and then last 2 games pull you through playoffs, depending on when your playoffs end, Arizona and then SF again. So I think it's not bad. I think he's going to see a lot of consistent looks, targets, and PPR format.
Even if you want to stream him, right now George Kittle's hurt. Granted, now he's not going to help you this week because he's on a bye, but point being, Kittle or even Ertz, who's had an up and down season this year.
Absolutely.
Just pair him with someone and play matchups. I mean, he's definitely worth an ad in a roster spot.
Yeah, no, this number needs to change. By next week, this needs to change.
It will change.
It will change. We've got a couple more questions in the comments, so let's jump right into those. Fredley Jimenez, one of our friends, thank you so much for joining us again. We've got McKissick or Mostert, which we were talking about earlier, and he apologizes for the bad spelling. It's fine. I never spell anything correctly. I have to have my work looked at all the time. But between these two this week, which do you prefer, McKissick or Mostert? I know that you just had a big high on Mostert, so this might be an obvious one for you.
Well, I don't know if it's obvious. Because if it's PPR, and we're talking about Ty Johnson, who we don't know if is going to be active against the Dallas Cowboys this week.
Yeah.
McKissick did catch 6 passes last week, 7 targets out of the backfield. And we don't know if it's going to be Matty Stafford under center or if it's going to be Jeff Driscoll. So clearly, if it's Driscoll, those were season highs for McKissick last week in the passing game.
Sure.
Granted, still 10 carries, 36 yards. He's not doing a ton on the ground. That was actually a season high for him as well, as far as volume goes, as far as pure carries. And McKissick didn't do a whole ton with it, but just on pure floor in PPR formats, he's certainly worth consideration against even Raheem Mostert, who I love the matchup and I love what the Niners do in the running game, but he's definitely worth considering. All that being said, that's my one Dan Orlovsky of the episode, where I build a guy up and then I switch gears and I'm going back to my boy Raheem.
Everything I just said, I just take it back. Just take back everything.
I think they're both right around the same area, though.
Yeah, but I agree with you on wondering which of the quarterbacks that he's going to get this week. That's going to definitely sway me more towards McKissick over Mostert if Stafford does come back or not, which I'm a little annoyed at Stafford. If he's got a fracture of the transverse processes, which are the little ridges that stick out of the back of your spine. Okay. And I know that Tony Romo had that injury and was out for the rest of the season when he had it. So is this fracture just not as bad as what he had? And of course, every injury is different. Or is Matt Stafford just that stubborn and the Lions just that stubborn to let him play?
I don't know, and I don't care to try to find out. I will say that if you're in a deep league, Jeff Driscoll is another guy worth a pickup.
Yeah.
Like in a 2 QB league or something like that.
Sure, 2 QB.
Ground, I mean, he's certainly worth someone that's on your bench as well in deeper formats. But, with Matthew Stafford, I don't know if I would, and Stafford's been very good this year. And if you've been riding Stafford or if you've been streaming him with another like mid-tier quarterback, then I would make other plans. I just don't trust Matthew Stafford with that injury. You're right. It's a tricky injury and I want nothing to do with it. Until I see him back on the field, I'm going to assume that he's not playing.
Yes.
No, I'm serious. Like I'm dead serious. When you're messing with those type of injuries, how can you feel confident that the guy's going to, even if he wants to come back and play?
Yeah. My friend Mike Rothstein of ESPN, he reports for the Lions, and he actually posted a video of Matt Stafford practicing, and he said, nothing crazy. He's just over here, just throwing passes. Not suited up, just in a sweater, just throwing the ball around like it's nothing. But he wasn't in any sort of contact at any way. He was just on the sidelines playing catch with someone on the side. It was really nothing.
Can you introduce me to Mike Rothstein? I'd like to meet him. I'm going to be there December 15th for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they visit.
I'll give you Mike's number. He's so cool. You'll love him. He's awesome.
I'm sure if you told him to listen to my fantasy takes, he may not answer. Anyway, let's go. Let's continue. What else do we got?
Moving along, we have another question from Will Jenkins. Thank you, Will, for your question. We have a half-point PPR question. Pick 2.
Okay.
John Brown, Juju Smith, Bill Dorsett, Ty Williams, Deebo Samuel, or Jarvis Landry.
Deebo actually intrigues me a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah.
But that being said, John Brown has really had a consistent floor all year long. I mean, he had at least 50 or more receiving yards every single week. I get it. Kyle Allen is incredibly tough to trust because of his just erratic inconsistencies with his accuracy. It drives me mad watching him play because there's a hell of a lot of talent there. And right now they play Miami this week, which means John Brown has a very favorable matchup.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with John Brown as one of the 2 options.
Okay, we got John Brown.
I want to, via matchup, I really want to go Tyrell Williams, even though Landry's been playing okay recently. And I want to go Ty Williams, but I just can't sit Juju Smith-Schuster. I can't.
I know it hurts.
I'm going to go with Juju.
Yeah.
I believe in him. I believe in Juju Smith-Schuster.
I do too. I believe in Juju. I feel like he's starting to get the right way. And I feel like every time I talk about Mason Rudolph and how he's been playing game to game, I feel like it's the same thing every game. First quarter, relearning what we're doing. Okay. It's gonna be a rough start. Gotta get your sea legs. He gets his sea legs after the first quarter. He gets a talking to at halftime. Halftime, he's a new guy. You got first half, Mason Rudolph, you got second half. And I feel like divisional game against the Browns, Steelers are going to come out strong. And I feel like Juju's going to have a good game. So I'm going to second the pick of Juju on that one. I love the pick for John Brown. And I really like the pick for Deebo Samuel. We already talked about how I'm not a fan of Tyrell Williams this week. And I just feel like Pittsburgh's defense has been better and better week to week. So if you're going to hang your hat on anything, it's going to be that they're going to cover. They're just going to cover the field, make it Fitzpatrick because he's going to be there. He's going to get an interception off of Jarvis Landry, and he's going to go in for a touchdown because that's what he's done the last couple of weeks to other teams.
I have to agree that Mason Rudolph is the slow starter, and he's the equivalent to the guy that
– be nice.
He's
a little boy.
He's somebody that you're willing to give your number out to at the end of the night at a bar because it's much better. Hold on. When he's stone sober and he's aware of the fact that, oh man, I got my pregame jitters. I'm nervous. I'm playing tight. I don't want to turn the ball over. I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to introduce and say something stupid to the pretty girl at the bar over there because I'm anxious. And then you get a couple drinks in him. He starts to relax. He starts to feel the flow and the environment and the vibe of that place that he is at. And then he starts to get into a rhythm. And before you know it, he's the funny guy at the end of the night that you're having a drink with and you're buying him a shot because you just enjoy his company and he's spitting off one-liners.
I'll agree with you in that I would definitely buy him a shot.
And by the way, on the other side for me, because it would be the equivalent to a girl that does the exact opposite in that scenario. So what I'm saying is, never mind, move on.
Anyways, whether or not we're dating Mason Rudolph is aside, I hope that we answered your question when picking those three. And then we've got another one.
I talked myself into a corner with that analogy.
A little bit. It's okay though. We've got another one from Tim Westby. PPR, Phillip Rivers, Brissett, Foles, or Fitzmagic. I'm gonna guess we're picking one here. I heard someone call Phillip Rivers Phyllis Rivers this week.
Oh, don't do that.
I thought it was cute, but
come on.
I don't know that he really deserves that, does he? I don't know.
I mean, Phillip Rivers has had a rough year.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy that we've become accustomed to throwing for over 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns, like it's been clockwork over the last decade, It's been tough to watch him really struggle, given that these are really the healthiest his options have been, and probably the best his options have been on paper in a long time. Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. I mean, he got Hunter Henry back. Of course, he missed him like a month of the season, but and then Mike Williams. So and then you had Austin Eckler balling out even when Melvin Gordon wasn't playing, and now Melvin Gordon's back. So it's weird to try to justify or explain the drop in production for P. Riv. But that being said, Chargers are actually starting to turn the corner here a little bit. And I don't think that they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. And in order to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, Phillip Rivers is going to have to throw the football. Yeah. So for me, I think it's P. Riv this week.
Yeah, I think I like the matchup there too the most.
You know that pass rush is very good for Kansas City. I mean, they're very
pass rush is, but the front is very, very weak. They're very depleted on their front in the rushing game. So I feel like if anything, big Melvin Gordon game, but also a big Austin Eckler game.
I mean, Eckler has been productive even since Melvin Gordon's come back. I mean, not running back top 5 type productive, because that's what he was prior to Melvin Gordon coming back, but he's had a significant role and impact in this offense even since Melvin Gordon's come back. Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I've got another question. Thanks, guys, for all these questions. This just makes my whole week when I get to sit here and we get to just talk football, talk to you guys, answer these questions. I love it. Seriously, it's the most fun. Oh, I'm humbled. Thank you very much.
No, it's awesome. Like, this is so great. I mean, just talking about my favorite subject.
Sam literally clapped. She clapped like, yay.
I get so excited. And I think if you're watching, you can tell because my face won't stop smiling. So
mine's red from bad lighting.
And wine. So Fredley Jimenez has a great question for us.
Okay, let's go.
He's got one for you and one for me. For me, as a Pitt fan, Sam, is their defense solid the rest of the season? If I could say more than 100% yes, I would say more than 100% yes. Yes. The thing that is working best for the Steelers now is hands down their defense. It has been the most consistent week to week, matchup aside. It has been very consistent, and they've had to keep up with it. And I think it's not just because Mason Rudolph has those, the first quarter jitters or whatever we want to call them, and they have to be doing so much work to get the pressure off of him. It's helping the whole team feel balanced because they've been so secure. So 100%. I love Steelers defense rest of the season. They also have a great rest of season schedule. Very, very friendly. So definitely a plug and play for me. And question for you, Tate. Will Rojo continue with the hot streak? I love this question.
So Rojo, we've seen really the backfield be handed to him. I know that Peyton Barber scored the game-winning touchdown. I'm not saying that Barber will not spell Rojo, but I expect him to continue to be the man that gets the lion's share. I mean, Arians named him the starter last week, and he really did nothing to me to lose that starting position. I think that you're going to continue to see more of the same from Rojo. I mean, is his production going to be a little bit hit or miss because that offensive line in Tampa Bay is not great. So you're going to have some weeks where they just are unable to really give him much room to run. As far as when they do give him a high volume of carry, he's still going to have some games where he struggles down the stretch. But there are some favorable matchups down the stretch too on Tampa Bay's schedule. So I expect more of the same. I think you can trust Rojo as a low end running back 2/flex option all the way down the home stretch.
Absolutely. And I was just actually trying to find the quote from Bruce Arians this week, but he's even talked him up again in the news this week saying, he's been doing great. We love what we're seeing out of him. This is obviously just because I can't pull up the quote right away, but he was.
I know what it is. It had to do with his involvement in the passing game.
Yeah.
They're saying that he's expanding on his route tree on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
So they want to do some more things with him in the passing game, even though I don't think he's the most naturally gifted pass catcher. But I mean, volume will be there. They want to see what he can continue to do. And if he's expanding and continuing to improve, which is exactly what he's done from his rookie year to his sophomore season.
Yep.
The arrow's pointing up for Rojo.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's all good signs, and the winds are in his favor for his journey on the rest of this season. I think he's definitely looking good. We've got more questions. Love this, guys. This is awesome.
Rex Kwanjo, bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. Continue.
Sorry, guys. Sometimes I can't help what Tater says. Another one from Tim.
Tater says.
Another one from Tim Westby. Don't make me say the quote to make you drink again. I didn't say it. This question is PPR question. Pick 2. Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, Juju, Manny Sanders, Michael Gallup, or Jamison Crowder. This is interesting because we got a couple people we've already talked about, a couple new ones. We just talked up the Chargers a little bit. So is Mike Williams creeping up on this list for you? We already talked about how much we like Christian Kirk this week, even though we don't think he's going to have the same game that he just had. I do love what Michael Gallup has been doing, and especially against the Lions. So I feel like he's kind of creeping up the chart for me on this pick too. How about you?
Even Jamison Crowder too. I mean, Michael Gallup is certainly. It seems as if it's a good reason to answer the question because you can make a case for everybody, and you can also, on the flip side of the coin, say, well, I don't want to start him for this reason. So, thank you for hitting us with the question, Tim.
No, this is perfect.
So it's tough to sit Kirk, who just blew up against the 49ers, just had a career game. But against the San Francisco 49ers, he is going to come crashing back down to earth. I personally believe that Kyler Murray is going to be under siege the entire game from that defensive front, especially coming off of a tough loss where they really could and should have won that football game against the Seahawks. Yeah. So I'm staying away from Kirk. I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. Again, I believe in the talent. Look, I'm not going to give you all the answers right here because we don't know the situation on Emmanuel Sanders. As of right now, I'm going to go ahead and assume he's injured. And if I'm doing that, I'm going between Mike Williams, Gallup, and Crowder. I'm going to go with Gallup. That Darius Slay, as long as he's playing, is going to be facing off against Amari Cooper. I'm not saying he'll probably have moderate success, but Gallup should eat on the other side. So for me, it's going to be Michael Gallup, even though I have no problem with Mike Williams and Crowder in a PPR. It's hard to ignore him.
Yeah, no. And I like what you said about how there's a lot to love about this list. And I think that if you have all of these on your team, that's good. I mean, you're in a good spot. But I'm gonna
top option.
I like your options. I mean, I'm definitely gonna still go with Juju this week. I do see him having a big week. Again, against the Browns, who have just been the Browns, not anything of the hype that we thought they would be. And I feel like, I mean, they are at home if I am not mistaken, which I do not believe that I am. They are at home. Or
stop being mistaken.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what? I drank this really fast, so
know your shit, White Claw Wednesday. Come on, there's 4 teams on a bye.
All right, I'm gonna agree with you here. Juju Smith.
4 teams on a bye.
Oh damn it! Okay. You know what's really funny?
You got to catch that.
I do. I gotta listen better. I just don't always listen to you. But.
Well played. Well played.
Anyways, we are going to go with Juju Smith for myself, and I'm going to also mirror the Gallup pick. I just love the matchup this week. Like you said, he's going to eat. I think that he's going to have the most opportunities, the most volume, and it's going to be great for him. Nick Bird saying, "What's up?" Hey, Nick. Thanks for joining us.
Nick. What up, dude?
Every week. Every week.
What?
It's so good. It's so good. I got another question here, a trade question from Rafael Markel. Trade away Kittle and Cup for Andrews and Kamara?
Whew. Wow. Okay, we got a heater.
This is Yeah.
Dude, this is a big boy trade. This is a
a
big boy, big girl trade. I mean, this is like,
yeah,
whew,
it's an adult trade.
so you talk about selling low. So Kittle right now has already been deemed inactive.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I would say hell to the yeah, because you're pretty much, no offense to Kittle. I think he's a better player than Mark Andrews, but the way Lamar Jackson's playing, it's a lateral move right now between.
No, absolutely.
And when it comes to Kupp, look, Kupp, I mean, I know he just laid a goose egg. I mean, oh, God almighty.
A lot of people said, I didn't know that Cooper Kupp was on a bye this week. This is weird.
He wasn't on a bye.
He wasn't on a bye. He just got
man. Oh, man. He drank the bad Kool-Aid out of his cup. But
no, he ate gas station sushi and just had to sit on the sidelines.
However, I expect much better days ahead for Alvin Kamara. I mean, I don't even know if Alvin Kamara was 100% healthy this week. I think he was probably playing through some injuries. I feel like it's like Devontae Adams, how we saw 2 weeks ago, where we saw an abundance of targets, but only like 41 yards receiving. And then another week, didn't re-aggravate the injury. He gets healthy, and then he posts over 100 yards receiving. I feel like we're going to see something similar with Alvin Kamara. So if you have Kittle and Kupp and you're getting Andrews and Kamara, I think it's a no-brainer. Push accept now. Yeah,
except until they watch this podcast and then realize that they made the wrong decision in offering you this trade. Absolutely hit accept on this trade. It is fantastic. Nick Bird with one for us. Assuming Brissett is healthy and T.Y. is out, would you play Pascal or would you play Deebo Samuel in full point PPR?
So let's go ahead and play devil's advocate, because if T.Y. Hilton is already out and
Brissett is healthy,
Emmanuel Sanders is out as well. Because if Emmanuel Sanders is out, I'm not starting Deebo Samuel. I'm going Zach Pascal. But given these two options, I think it's going to be Deebo Samuel for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think, again, this goes back to the matchup, which we talked about earlier. So you just kind of got to go with the volume that you're going to see in that game. And you have to make all these assumptions now. So obviously check the inactives. But I think that Deebo Samuel is the pick here.
Deebo can play. I want to see more. I want to see him build off of pretty much career highs across the board. Like, I loved what I saw on he was kind of pressed into a bigger role because Sanders got hurt.
Yeah.
Loved what I saw from him. So hopefully he continues to build off what he did last week.
Yep. And again, guys, keep up with the questions. Again, we will keep scrolling. We will go back and forth, and we'll always try and get to your questions as soon as we can. Tim Westby with one for us. I guess this isn't much of a question or more of a comment. Defense is the Bills, or are you worried? Wait, let me read this right again. Defense Bills or Steelers, worried Miami keeps getting better each week. I love Micah Fitzpatrick. The Steelers got a steal. They did. The Steelers did make a steal. Boom, boom, boom.
2 defensive touchdowns this year since they traded for him?
Yeah, he has more touchdowns than Odell Beckham, which is a fun stat.
Oh, nice jab. I like that. More touchdowns than Antonio Brown, too.
Yeah. Cheers. It's kind of harsh. It hurts. Well,
did it to himself. I don't feel sympathy for a man that made as much money as he has and talked himself out of the league. So,
yeah. And he's talked himself into so many lawsuits.
No sympathy here for Antonio Brown.
Let's just
You're a Steelers fan. What the hell? Don't feel bad for that guy.
I know. Let's just stay positive today. We're drinking. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Yes. I mean, there's 4 teams on a bye.
I hate you.
Point is, when it comes to the 2 defensive matchups, forgive me, I know it's the Browns. I think the Steelers are playing. Who the Bills playing again? Miami. Oh, man.
Yeah, Bills are against Miami. Miami does keep getting better, but
you know what?
I'm still not scared.
I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Steelers defense. Given that, Baker Mayfield, this is the first time he's thrown more than 1 touchdown pass in a game? Whoop-de-frickin-do. Like, can we see him do it for more than 1 week? They've only won 3 games this entire season. And actually, I agree with the fact that the Dolphins have been playing better football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm okay with going with the Steelers.
Yeah. And I'm just going to definitely mirror what I said earlier. Definitely going with my Steelers. This is a great pick. And if we've seen anything from Baker Mayfield, it's that when the spotlight is shining on him, he will run and hide like a little boy. So Thursday Night Football, just saying, fighting words. Steelers.
Shots fired. Pass is caught.
It's going to be a fun game tomorrow. I'm definitely, you know what? Here's a good question. And you guys can comment for me. How much Steelers gear should I wear to work tomorrow, knowing I work in a very sports friendly office? Should I go full head to toe? Because I got the full outfit I could do.
I really should have sent you the tank that I had to wear.
No, you keep that.
No, I already returned it.
You suck.
The NFL shop unfortunately gave me their money back, despite having that thing plastered to my body for a day.
I still have that picture saved. In case you guys ever saw this post last year, but Derek unfortunately made a bet against me. I believe it was that Tampa Bay would beat the Steelers.
It was Fitzmagic. I was riding the Fitzmagic.
You were riding the Fitzmagic train. You were on that high, and I definitely won. And the winner, or the loser, I guess I should say, had to wear the opposing team's clothes, and Derek had to wear a girls tank top, girls Steelers tank top.
A girls Steelers tank top. I don't know what was worse, watching that or the actual in-game funeral of Chris Conti, who got his soul stiff-armed out of him by Vance McDonald in that game. Like, I mean,
this is where you die.
He went full Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung, your soul is mine. And they just stiff-armed the freaking soul out of Chris Conti. We never saw him again. I don't even know if he's alive.
No, I think people are still looking for him in the desert somewhere. I think he just he was banished off of the wasteland.
That's an answer to your question, though.
As much gear as you can physically wear while still being a competent employee. All right. So that means hat. I got scarf. I got jersey. I got sweatpants. I got shoes. Oh, and I got socks too. We're going to go full Steelers tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
If you have shoes, I'd be asking, what are those? As the kids would say.
What are shoes?
What are those? Never mind.
I don't know what the kids say these days. I'm not that cool. Back to a couple more questions. You guys are awesome with these.
Let them rip. Come on.
Raphael Markel. Again, another trade question. Trade away Chubb or Jacobs and Godwin for Adams or Lockett and Saquon. Okay, so we got some running back and some wide receiver needs I'm seeing here. Good trade or not, and which players should I trade away and for? So it's going to be a running back and a wide receiver for a running back and a wide receiver.
So I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Adams and Saquon are both on a bye. Again, there's 4 teams on a bye this week. And oh, shit.
You just said it, and you've been avoiding it.
I literally just said this was actually legitimate.
This is a great game. I hope people are playing along with it. This is fun.
That's my catchphrase. Whoopsie. Anyway, so I would. I mean, Saquon, didn't he just get an X-ray though? I mean, he doesn't.
I think he had an MRI. I mean, he's a little dinged up, but the kid's young. He wants to play, and I mean.
Although I will agree, and I think that the ceiling is higher for Saquon, of course, and Adams over Godwin. So. If you have the depth to be able to make the move and you're not going to automatically take a L this week, or if you can take an L and you're okay with it to be able to make the push down the backstretch, I do think Adams and Saquon are the better 2 players than Chubb, Jacobs, and Godwin, even though they've all had.
It would be either Chubb or Jacobs.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying all 3. I'm saying pick one, or that guy the other owner gets to pick Chubb or Jacobs and Godwin for Adams and Saquon. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, but I don't want to do it for Lockett.
No, I wouldn't say for Lockett. No, I would definitely go for the Adams and Saquon of these 2. And it's interesting enough. I think last week I said I didn't see Kareem Hunt totally eating into Nick Chubb's.
No, I thought it was great. Actually, there was a couple times where he led block for Nick Chubb.
Yeah, no, it was, you can definitely tell, and I think a lot of people have been saying the same thing, that Kareem Hunt is in a position where he is going to do whatever he's asked, and he's not going to ask questions. And that's why
He'll get an opportunity somewhere else. He'll get an opportunity somewhere else as long as he comes in and contributes and because
competes.
People already know what he can do from his days back in Kansas City. I mean, it's he'll have his games and moments here and there, but I agree with you. Like, Chubb is the guy. Chubb is their lead back, period.
Yeah, he definitely is their lead, but it was nice to see the work that he got. So I wonder if that work is going to increase and then make it even better for you to trade away Chubb, is my thought. Because for me, of those two, I would rather have Jacobs than Chubb on my team, just with the influx that that Kareem Hunt is having. So I agree. I would definitely go with the Adams and Saquon. So I would make the trade.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hope we answered that question for you, although we've been drinking. So, we just
What does that mean?
No,
it
just means
nice when I'm drinking. I'm just letting it rip. I'm not over. I don't tinker.
You're just not over. I just love the way you just let them sling out.
Honestly, I've seen this one for a long time. I want to discuss this.
Okay, I'm really excited about this one. Sorry, guys, if you have got more matchup questions, we will get to them. But this is a heated debate right here. Christmas movies rankings.
And I want to know I want to know everybody that's watching right now. I want to know your rankings of these movies.
Yes, if you guys can comment in the order of which you prefer these, this is huge. All right, we've got Elf, Home Alone, The Santa Claus, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You go.
Oh, you want me to go first?
You go first.
So I'm going to go in descending order. So I'm going to go
your least favorite first.
Ascending, excuse me. So we're going to start at the bottom and move our way up to the top.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Santa Claus first. Like, nothing wrong. Tim Allen. Actually met him in Traverse City up here in Michigan. Shout out to Tim Allen. I went, I threw the Home Improvement line on him. I mean, it was cool.
I hope he had a good reaction to that, because he probably doesn't get that very often.
No, and he kind of said it sucks. Work on it. But
that's awesome.
Tim Allen told me to kick rocks. But anyway, point is,
Lightyear to the rescue.
It was good, but it's ranks at the bottom for me here. Elf, I have it coming in at 3. I'm sorry. Elf it's a silly Will Ferrell movie, and it has some great moments. It really does. Will Ferrell carried that movie on his back. It was fantastic. Bunch of one-liners, but still 3 for me. Home Alone, I got to put it 2, and I hate it because I love Home Alone. I mean, the premise of Home Alone is just fantastic. Yeah. I mean, and Buzz, his older brother, I mean, he's got to sleep in the bed with his cousin that wets the bed all the time. He's sitting there drinking Coke, smiling about it. And then, of course, you got Joe Pesci, and then, but ultimately it's all about National Lampoons. Come on. Cousin Eddie alone is the best character in all of these movies combined. Easily. And you can make a teddy bear that you could put under the Christmas tree with him wearing a bathrobe and whatever freaking hat he was rocking as he says, "Merry Christmas, shitter's full." Yeah. Come on. It's Cousin Eddie all day.
I guess. I mean, okay. What? Okay, wait. No. You had your time. Now, just for the record, and I know that this is going to suck, I have not seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'm sorry. I just haven't. And before I jump into my list, just knowing that,
I want to go ahead and apologize to everybody for that. I removed her off the stream for 10 seconds as a penalty for not seeing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's so mean. How dare you?
Welcome back.
How dare you? It's not my fault. And I love that we're getting a lot of people writing in their lists. Nick Bird putting his list up. Elf, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and then the Santa Claus. This one I got to throw up there because I know Michael just knows me so well. He puts the Santa Claus first, actually. Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, Elf, and Sam, Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie.
It's an action movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
Okay. You're wrong. But, and Michael, you can go kick rocks. But Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It begins with Christmas music. It ends with Christmas music. And it's got the decorations everywhere. Ho, ho, ho. Come on. I know I've got a machine gun. Come on.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pals. Come on. He's got the Christmas tape on his back where he's got the gun. Spoiler alert. And then he, shoots Hans. But, come on. It is the best Christmas movie because it's got all the explosions. It's got Bruce Willis. And it's got all the stuff you love. It is a Christmas movie. It's my favorite movie. It will always be my favorite. And it's a Christmas movie.
Well, so that's because you haven't seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation yet.
I'll work on it. I know I'm not perfect. Will Jenkins with his list: Home Alone, National Lampoon, Elf, The Santa Claus. Love you guys for writing these in. Tim with his 2, Christmas Vacation. He's mirroring yours, although he did flop.
Vacation.
He did flop the 2nd and 3rd pick.
It's Christmas Vacation.
Elf and Home Alone, and then Santa Claus. Loving all of these guys. And then Nick, you guys must know me really well, but the real number 1 is Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yes, I love Jim Carrey, and he's fantastic in that.
What will I wear?
What would I wear?
You're an idiot.
Hate, double hate, loathe entirely. It's fantastic. I love Jim Carrey and all things him. Okay, so if I have to pick this list of these 4, because I'm gonna play by the rules, I can't put National Lampoon.
Put National Lampoons at 4 because you haven't freaking.
Because I haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it.
That's
so I'm
bullshit.
sorry.
You only have a top 3. You can't. You have to omit this from.
Okay, fine. So I'm omitting it. So top 3 of this list.
I'm gonna. 4 teams on a bye week.
I hate you. Stop it. Okay, so if I'm going to pick 3 of this list, because I haven't seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I'm going to pick number 1. We're going to go with Elf, because I love Will Ferrell. I love him, and he's so funny, and he just makes me laugh. Smiling is my favorite. Smiling is my favorite. Is there sugar and syrup? Because yes. It is probably the most quotable of this whole list, and I love quoting movies.
Elf.
That's amazing. Okay, so Elf, and then I'm gonna go. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate my list, but it's okay. You already don't like me. Health. We're gonna go the Santa Claus because I love that movie. It just reminds me of when I was a kid watching that movie in my pajamas. Christmas Eve, and just getting all excited and just laughing at Tim Allen. And yeah, it's got to be him because I love it. Also, when he just progressively gets fat throughout the year, he just gets worse looking.
It's great. I'm saying there's great stuff in it. It's a great movie.
And remember that line, Veronica, very nice. No, not a chance, Fatso. Like, oh my God, she's just like, man, if I wasn't Santa.
It's a great movie. Again, it's no disrespect. Yeah. It's hard to pick. There's no wrong answer in this list, and then you're going Home Alone at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the moments there too. It's the shenanigans, the pranks. It's totally up my alley. But for me, I just give the Santa Claus the boost just because for the nostalgia. For me, it just hits a different part of my heart, which is very small. So targeting reasons, I have to go in that order. I think that makes sense. We can jump right back into football.
We can jump right back into football.
Segue.
I really do want you to go ahead and at least take the time to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Please.
You see this one? I will watch it. But do you see this one? People agree with me. Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you. Don't you badmouth Tim. He's on my side. He's on my side. All right, Ryan, and he has no questions really from me, but I'm going to have to start Brian Hill and James White this week, hoping for the best. I think you're going to have a great week because I do think the Patriots are going to get out in front very quickly, and they're just going to be running out that clock with James White. So I think that you have...
White's not the guy you run out the clock with.
He can be. He just dumps it off. It's fine. It's fine. I think the running backs are going to do... I think both running backs are going to be great in this game. It's going to be fine.
Okay, fair enough.
See? Fair enough.
Could be worse. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
This is where Derek turns, and I've disagreed with him too many times.
I'm not turning sour. Come on. I'm just pissed you didn't watch Christmas Vacation.
I'll fix it. I told you I'm not perfect. I work on
this
these
is
things.
my board for one split second. Friendly, I agree. She's got to do her homework here for Christmas. I don't know how you've survived a Christmas, like every Christmas of your adult life without ever coming across National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's hard for me to my brain to process.
Okay. And then
brain to process.
Not to totally keep people off of being on my team because I want people to, generally like me, and this will make them not like me. But I do not like Christmas.
Okay. Do you also cheer when puppies die or something like that? How the hell do you not
I don't kick puppies. I'm not a fan of Christmas. I feel like I hate the decorations. The combination of red and green is horrible, and just there's glitter everywhere. It's just
I've got Christmas decorations already up in my house, and it's not because of me. It's because of my girlfriend.
I know, and I think that it's great.
I think it's excessive, but
I think it's great when people, have something they're passionate about, and I love that they're festive, but I just don't like anything about the holiday.
Shout out Kelly. I mean, she's already
we
got.
Love Kelly. We do.
We've got jingle all the way going around the entire house. There's, Christmas ornaments hanging from the kitchen walls.
And my roommate absolutely loves Christmas, and I love her, and I love that she loves Christmas, and I feel bad that I'm such a Grinch, and I'm just like, no decorations. But I do let her have some decorations in the house. It's just that it's just not my favorite thing. I don't like the excessive gift giving, and this is when I start to sound like the Grinch, where it's just like the avarice.
No wonder you like the Grinch so much.
I love the Grinch. I relate to it so much, but I just also hate the shopping, and there's just more people out, and I hate people. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't love.
Apparently, I'm Cindy Lou Who in this situation, where I'm just the one that's full of joy and optimism. My humble apologies, but Nick Bird's actually kind of right. I am legit frazzled by it. I don't know. Mad is probably a little bit too over the top, but I'm frazzled. Like, I mean, Sam and I have a lot of pop culture things that we have in common. Like we can reference certain movies and topics and things that we get each other. But
we do.
But this is one that I'm taken back. You're right, Nick. You read me like a book. I'm taken back. I don't know how to respond. And then, of course.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
That's Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comma, Cupid, Donna, Blitzen. Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way is good. I have seen that one because that one's, got fun.
I don't do a good Arnold, but I mean, it's funny how he sings it all the way to the Turbo Man doll.
And of course, Michael's just trolling me at this point. Sam, what's your favorite Christmas song? I know you're excited for the music already. You're saying this because I hate the music, and that's another reason I hate the holiday. The music is horrible. Ugh, just nailed the chalkboard.
Sorry. Continue.
I will kick you off this show.
Ah!
My name is at the beginning, yours is at the end.
Sam, teams are by this week.
All right, everybody drink. Sam, have you?
I want to ask one question to the audience. Is anybody else actually drinking along with us?
Yeah.
When we say that right now, is anybody else actually drinking along with us? I just want to know real quick. But Fredley, sorry, I interrupted.
That's okay. Sam, have you? Wait, you have to spend a Christmas in Puerto Rico. Will change your mind. I mean, if there's sun, that's cool too. But I live in California, SoCal. I mean, I've spent Christmases at the beach too, because it's nice. But I'm sure that Puerto Rico is gorgeous and would be wonderful this time of year. I don't know that it'll make me like Christmas anymore because I'm dead inside. So it's a steep wall to climb. I'm working on myself in other ways. That's one I'm not working on.
Right. Gotcha.
There's so many people. Sam, you just spoke to my soul. I'm the Grinch. I hate people and kind of hate Christmas. Thank you, Nick. Nick is on my team. Yes, I'm not alone. People hate Christmas too. It's because.
I hate the optimistic one. I like it.
If you want to run an errand, a simple errand at this time of year, it's just like you just run into just traffic jam, people that just bring their kids and they're all horrible and they're all just like, get my tires. I'm just like, oh, I hate people. But
sorry, kids get excited for potentially getting gifts. My humble apologies. Is it wrong to bring joy to kids?
Yeah, because they're walking around with their own fucking iPhones and iPads and shit, and they're all just like excited. I don't know why I curse. I'm not supposed to curse. I'm sorry, but we can bleep it out later.
What's with the F-bomb?
I'm sorry. These kids are all super spoiled already. They have the internet. We didn't grow up with the internet. Crying out loud. They have enough.
You're 90 years old complaining about the.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Tim, we finally got a fantasy question. Let's go ahead and go back to fantasy for just a split second. Standard pick 2, OBJ, John Brown, Crowder, or Christian Kirk, of course. Thank you. Thank you for hitting us with your question.
Kind of going off the tail end of a couple other picks that we talked about earlier.
Right. Just
throwing OBJ in there. I don't know that just his name makes me start him anymore with OBJ. It's kind of sad that's what it's come to with the Browns. You're just starting them and hoping, and hopefully you're just sliding him in at a flex spot.
I think it's
a question.
Thing. I think it's a Freddie Kitchens thing. He does not know how to use and properly.
He doesn't know what to do with his hands?
Well, I don't think he knows what to do with his premier wide receiver. And if you want to nickname that hands, that's fine. Because OBJ has some of the best hands that we've ever probably encountered in NFL history as far as just pure ability to be able to pluck the ball out of the air. Point being, OBJ is criminally misused in this offense. I'm not starting him. I hate to say it. Amongst this group, I'm going John Brown. And believe it or not, I'm going Jamison Crowder. Even in a standard, I'm sorry. He's got a better floor right now than OBJ. OBJ is volatile.
Yeah.
I know OBJ is the better player. No shit. I'm not saying that he's not. Please don't throw anything at me. But the role in their respective offenses, Crowder sees higher volume. I'm sorry.
No, I'm all about it. I'm totally about all these picks. I'm all about volume week to week. And I know some people say you could be getting cute with your lineup. But at this point with OBJ, he is just not being used the way he should be used. And until I see otherwise, I don't want to take that risk with him in my starting lineup. I'd rather have it on my bench. Fine. I lost out on points that week, but I'd rather see it happen.
100%, Sam. And the perfect example is because if you watch that game with the Browns on Sunday, there were they had a goal to go situation inside the 5-yard line, and twice Odell Beckham Jr. beat Tre'Davious White on a slant route. And instead of throwing him a slant route, they called the same play twice where he ran a slant corner route where he looped back around. He beat him inside. It's an easier throw to just hit him on the slant. What in the hell? You're making it so much more complicated when this guy is so immensely gifted.
Yeah.
It's not an indictment on OBJ. It's an indictment on Freddie Kitchens. I'm not starting him until they somehow figure out how to properly use this man because
absolutely. And I mean, we're rolling into week 11,
Freddie Kitchens is a dumbass. He should be fired.
Well, yeah, I mean, that aside.
Wednesday has gotten to me, but now I'm shooting off the cuffs. He should be fired.
Fired. But
I know more about football than Freddie Kitchens. And I don't give a damn if you put that on Twitter. It's fine.
Post it everywhere. We can probably buy a billboard in Cleveland with your face on it. And it probably wouldn't cost that much.
Just Photoshop brown Tampa Bay, similar color. I mean, what it is. So, Aunt Nancy, thank you for joining us. And I'm humbled and I'm bright red strictly not because of the lights, but because you're joining us. Personally, I consider the movie Die Hard a Christmas movie. However, National Lampoon's is up there with A Christmas Story.
I know. I need to watch National Lampoon's. I know it.
Aunt Nancy, I'm not a huge Christmas Story person. You'll shoot your eye out. I do love Fragile. Must be Italian. When it comes to the leg lamp, the classic leg lamp. I mean, there's some classic moments in A Christmas Story, but 100%. It doesn't make my top 5 as far as Christmas movies. Die Hard, though, Aunt Nancy, there's so much blood and death in it.
Yeah.
Is there even a Christmas tree in that movie?
Yes, there is. And I will screenshot one to you later. Because I don't. It's a Christmas party that he walks into.
Now Sam's on a mission. Switch the topic. Christmas tree up or USIC? What does that mean?
Music. I think you just didn't spell it.
Music. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Before
Victor Jace with one. Christmas tree up or music before December 1st is a crime. Bruise for the crew. I agree with you, Victor. You should not have any of that.
I agree. Save it for December 1st. Focus on Thanksgiving in November. I agree. Thanksgiving tends to get overlooked. Ryan, I agree with you on this statement. But except for I am drinking today because Bucks fans, we've had a lot of reasons to drink over the last decade.
You're having a very Mr. Rogers moment with the crowd right now.
It's a beautiful.
Now, kids, let me just tell you about
beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Anyway, yes, it's terrible, Ryan. I apologize on behalf of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, even though it's not my job. Nick Bird, milk stout, left hand. You know what? Cheers, my man. Cheers to you, Nick.
Cheers,
that, man. All right, Victor. So we actually have ourselves a fantasy question here. We have stream the Browns defense. Decent schedule going forward. They do. You're right. It's on paper. It looks great. Drinks up. Holidays are for drinks and family. Everyone shop early. 100%. I agree with everything in that sentiment, including starting the Browns defense. I have no qualm with the Browns defense. I have issues with their offense. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Roll with the Browns defense. That's fine.
No, I'm sure week to week they'll be fine going forward. I mean, I don't know that they'll have the best game this week, but I think that they're a fine defense to start. If you are in a pinch, I'm just rolling high on the optimism that my Steelers are going to absolutely decimate the Browns and just leave nothing left behind of that team.
Oh, wasteland.
Wasteland. Fredley Jimenez has to go back to The Mandalorian. No spoilers. No spoilers. I am going to watch that tonight. I'm super excited because I've been wanting to watch it all week.
Well, no spoilers, but I just want to go ahead and take the moment to acknowledge the fact that the man actually decided to go ahead and let us know that he's leaving our comment section. I've never had that happen before. Thank you for that courtesy, Fredley. Thank you for joining us. And if you go back and listen to the end of this episode, we really appreciate it.
Yes, we always appreciate people that listen in and chat with us as we talk about football because, again, this is our favorite thing to do. Talk football, and chat with you guys about how to solve your week-to-week picks and starts. Rockout has another question for us. Damian Williams, Tevin Coleman, Devin Singletary, Cooper Kupp, Sean. I don't know who Sean is, but Westbrook and Nita RN. You need a nurse? Are you okay? And 2 flex full PPR. Okay, so a couple things here. We've got.
I feel like you're confused. You're trying to.
I'm a little confused, but
analyze it at the same time.
No, it's okay. We do have Nick Foles back this week. Now, do you see that helping D.D. Westbrook? Because as we were going into the season, that was the big plot line was, Nick Foles to D.D. Westbrook. That's going to be the perfect stack. So do we see him just picking up where he left off? We have absolutely no sample size to really go off of to take us into this game.
Correct.
But we do know that Nick Foles is fully healthy. So that is one thing to hang our hats on. We talked a little bit about Kupp earlier, how we feel about him. He has not been used as he should be this season. Devin Singletary, I do like, and I think that we've just kind of blown out of the water all of our topics for the week because we've had so many awesome questions from you guys. So thank you for that. But I did have Devin Singletary on my list of my outside the top to start this week because he's against Miami this week. He is a great matchup. Damian Williams, I don't know. I'm kind of talking out my thoughts out loud because I'm trying to figure out of this list which 2 I like for PPR specifically. Which ones are you leaning towards?
By the way, Michael's trying to help us out. Sanu, and then right now.
Thanks, Michael.
Or need a running back. Our N could be RB as well because it's right there on the keyboard as well. Just let me know when it's my turn.
It's your turn now.
All right. So, okay. Need 2 flex full point PPR. Need a running back and two flex options. So, Damian Williams is going to be one of the guys, period. We saw Shady McCoy inactive last week. And
he was inactive. Everyone thinks he was benched because of a drop. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
So, for that reason, though, I'm going to start him. But then also when it comes to the other options, it's hard to sit Tevin Coleman because Tevin Coleman with no Matt Breida, I know that Raheem Mostert's going to do some nice things, but, he should do some work against this Arizona defense.
Yeah, he should.
Let's be real. Yeah. And nothing against Westbrook or Sanu, but I know Cooper Kupp's going to bounce back. Cooper Kupp's going to bounce back, guys. The targets were there. It was a weird off game for Kupp. So I'm still going to go Williams, Coleman, and Kupp over Singletary because the reason being I don't trust the Bills to do the right thing and just give this man the football. Like they continue to struggle with giving this man the football. It's not that damn hard. He's damn good running back, and they won't give him the freaking football. This
has touches of how you feel about David Montgomery on the Bears.
He's so Singletary's so good. He's so damn good. Just
he is.
Give him the damn football, but they won't. They keep letting Josh Allen throw the ball all over the yard. They keep letting Frank Gore see as many carries as him.
Just breathe. Usa, just breathe. It's going to be fine,
Usa.
Now, I guess question for you on Kupp then. Does the Chicago defense not worry you then? I mean, I know that the Steelers have been an up and up defense, so people didn't expect them to cover him as they did, but clearly he did nothing. So against another good defense, that doesn't worry you?
It doesn't, strictly because Cooper Kupp, I think, is the focal point of the passing attack.
And
I
for
know
me,
it was a weird week. I get it was a weird week. I do. I understand. And it's concerning whenever a player doesn't register a reception. But and the Bears defense is the Bears defense. I'm definitely not. I'm not overlooking them. It's a tough matchup. But you look at Singletary, who's got a great matchup in Miami. I feel as if Cooper Kupp, who has been really good for most of this season, if not great, I want to continue to put my trust in someone that has been there all season long, as opposed to Devin Singletary, who, I get it, he looks great whenever he does get the ball, but they continue to not involve him in the offense, and they're definitely not featuring him. So for that reason, I'm going what I feel like is the safer bet in Cooper Kupp than over Devin Singletary.
All right. I've heard your case. So I'm gonna spit out my picks here quickly, as you're gonna disagree with me. I'm gonna go Coleman, Singletary, and I'm gonna go Sanu. I mean, okay, and this is my thought. Okay. Because we saw what the defense did to Cooper Kupp this week. Defenses know now what they need to do to really shut up Jared Goff. Take away his safety blanket. Take away Cooper Kupp. This is going to be a week for Robert Woods, because he is going to be someone that can be utilized in multiple ways against tough defense. And that defense is going to see, hey, they just shut down their number one receiver. Guess what we're going to do this week? Shut him down too. So to me, I think the better start for volume, because I know that, the Patriots are going to get out ahead quickly and just stay there. There's going to be maybe less than a handful of catches to Sanu, but he's going to make them on huge yards, and he's going to get a touchdown, and you're going to have secured points there. So to me, that's the safer matchup, because I can see a touchdown for Sanu.
Disagree with you about Sanu. Sanu seems to be someone that is a downgraded version of Josh Gordon, and he doesn't have the ability to get vertical consistently. He doesn't. He's more of a possession receiver. And don't get me wrong, Brady prefers possession receivers at this point of his career. He's not pushing the ball down the field nearly as much. And Sanu is capable. He's a solid veteran that can create separation. Not a ton of it, but he can get open and certainly has a big body to be able to make possession catches within 10 to 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. He's not burning. He's not scaring anybody deep. He's not. I mean, could he get lucky and score a touchdown? Yeah, absolutely. But
I just think he has a higher floor this week.
That's fine. And that's totally fine. I mean, the Bears defense does make me a little bit nervous when it comes to Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
I understand that, and I respect them.
Yeah. And then, we did have somebody agree with me. Victor agreed with me. Woods over Kupp this week. Thanks, Victor. I appreciate that.
Elway.
We have a couple more real quick. Let's wrap up these questions, guys, because you guys have been with us for almost an hour and 20 minutes now. We appreciate you guys so much. This has been awesome. We've literally just been slinging these questions away, and it's been awesome. Now, unfortunately, Knox is trying to get in on the podcast, and he's attacking. Real quick, Ryan.
No, loose. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, Ryan has a funny story for you. I actually used to work for the Bucks on the field as a flag runner, hype guy, and I've gotten booed before when Nick Folk missed 3 field goals against the Pats and we barely lost. Oh, wow, that's a great story. Now Folk plays for the Patriots and it makes me salty being booed.
Ryan, where are you? I want to be the next Gene Deckerhoff. I want to be the guy that does the play-by-play for the Bucks. Unfortunately, your connections. You said former hype guy. What are you? Are you still working for the Bucks? I'm curious. I need to know these answers. But dude, that's awesome that you were on the field. Ray J, Fire the Cannons. I was a season ticket holder for like 3 or 4 years. Loved it. And if I was sitting there cheering whenever you get on the field, running the flag on, oh man, there are some moments that I definitely remember and some that I definitely don't at that stadium. Fantastic.
That's how you enjoy football. Victor has another question for us.
There's 4 teams on a bye this week.
4 teams on a bye. I'm almost out of White Claw. I can't run into the kitchen and get another.
It's fun. Keep going.
Victor needs to start one of these wide receivers. Who would you play? Gallup, Anderson, or sadly, Glassman Watkins?
Sadly.
I mean, I think we talked about him earlier a lot. I think Michael Gallup is going to be the one of this list that we like.
That's the Bucky special, the old Sammy Watkins Glassman. Robbie Anderson is actually somebody that kind of intrigues me this week, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't want to go with the Glassman. Too inconsistent. Too many options there.
Too inconsistent, absolutely.
When it comes to Gallup, actually, I like Gallup a lot this week. I think he's going to do very well opposite of Amari Cooper against the Detroit Lions. That their secondary is, I think, their weakness of their team. Point being, though, I think it's going to be Robbie Anderson. I think it's I'm going to enjoy watching you score, Mr. Anderson.
Loving the Matrix references. Love it. I'm gonna stick with what we talked about earlier on Michael Gallup. If you guys want to catch up on that, you guys can go back to the beginning of the podcast.
You're sending people back? You're not going to tell them again?
I mean, I've got a cat that's trying to get on the podcast right now. I feel like he's about to destroy something in my house. But I do, of this three, I have to go with Michael Gallup. Cool. That's got to be the one for me. Oh my God. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's literally throwing.
I heard something bump. Did he headbutt the computer?
No, there's like a coffee table on wheels, and he launched at it to like launch it into the wall because he knows if he makes a sound, I'll break from what I'm doing to go and play with him because he just wants to be played with, or he just wants food. I think he's just hungry again. He's getting fat, so I can't just keep overfeeding this damn cat.
All right. What do we have for the last couple questions?
Let's wrap this up. Thank you guys again for all these questions and tuning in. This has been awesome. Will Jenkins with one for us. Better play this week: Derek Carr versus Cincinnati or Josh Allen versus Miami? Ooh, this is close for me.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, hands down?
Yeah, hands down.
I mean,
I trust him more. I do. That's because no matter how much the Bills play down to their competition. I mean, if you remember the previous time they played the Miami Dolphins, it was like a dogfight.
Yeah.
The Dolphins actually had a lead at one point. So
yeah, that's true.
It's not like the Bills blow out bad opponents. They actually played down to their competition. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Derek Carr, who's been pretty consistent all year. I like Derek Carr.
Consistent, and the Cincinnati defense has been, if not porous, as like the nicest way to say it. It's been abysmal. So Derek Carr should have a great game this week. Let's just knock out a couple more of these. Again, guys, thank you for these. We're trying to get to them as much as we can. Peter Orozco, thank you for joining. Start Kenny Golladay or Terry McLaurin. Standard league. I think this really has to go back to
Stafford.
If Stafford starts. If Stafford starts, hands down Kenny Golladay. If he doesn't, hands down Terry McLaurin.
I would make it that simple as well. I mean, I would probably give it a little bit more deeper look into the matchups. But, I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with exactly what Sam said. I don't like agreeing with Sam. I like to give a little bit of a different take. But that was pretty spot on.
On occasion, we agree.
Yes, we agree. On the fantasy debate with Sam and Tate.
Victor, thank you again for another one. As much as I hate Singletary not being play on my team, not a big deal. You kind of think they want to pad Gore's legacy.
Well, think about it. Where is Frank Gore from? The University of Miami. And they are playing in Miami this week. So I'm going to make it a point or go out of their way to try to get Frank Gore
touchdown.
Some good nostalgia / feel goods that may be down there in Miami.
Sure, but I feel like that would be like a goal line carry. I don't think it would be like the majority of the carries of the game.
Well, they gave him 3 a couple of weeks ago in a row, and he didn't punch one of them in.
That's true. There is that. So we'll see. Let's knock out the rest of these really quick. Thanks, guys, again for these questions. They're awesome. Pick 3, 2 running backs, and flex. Tevin Coleman, David Montgomery, Brian Hill, or Christian Kirk.
I'll be quick with this. So 2 running backs at least. So the 2 running backs definitely going Tevin Coleman and look, David Montgomery. They got to run. Chicago's going to run their offense through him. And then I'm staying away from that San Francisco defense as much as possible. I'm going to go Brian Hill in the flex.
Yeah, no, same for me. Absolutely. Loving Brian Hill this week. Again, he was one of our favorites. As not just a must start.
I love the rest of the season, just not this week.
Yeah. If this is absolutely just this week. And Victor, Disney Plus is out. Top 3 Disney movies.
Oh. damn it.
That's just too many to go through because you've got so many categories, which they have organized so well.
Top 3 Disney movies. Okay.
Let's keep it to classics.
Are we going animated classic? Okay, you know what? I'll just go off the top of the dome. I'm gonna go Lion King, original Lion King, not that recreated CGI shit. Even though it was pretty well done, I'm still going the original Lion King. Mufasa, James Earl Jones. You cannot do better than that. 2, Aladdin, the genie, Robin Williams. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Ali, fabulous, he, Ali, Ababa. Strong as 10 regular men, fabulous. Anyway, and then I may surprise you with my third, Toy Story.
Oh,
The original Toy Story. I love Toy Story.
Yeah, Toy Story's fantastic. My number 1 has to be Little Mermaid because I can sing and quote the entire thing. And as my mom said growing up, there were 2 shirts that I always wanted to wear as a toddler. And it was either my Little Mermaid shirt or my Batman t-shirt. That says a lot about me. So, Little Mermaid, and then I completely agree.
Not sure what it says, but it says a lot.
It says a lot. I don't know what it says, but it says a lot. Little Mermaid, and then it has to go Lion King and Aladdin for me as well. Those were just the classics that just totally hit home. So, completely agree with you there. Thanks for that question. Can't wait to jump back onto that.
We should have a movie podcast, apparently.
We definitely should. That would go really well. Probably.
Apparently, it's going to go very well.
At Fantasy Focus, do you have a defense you like weeks 14 through 16? Ooh.
It's hitting you.
I mean, a little bit
different there.
That is a very different question. We don't get a lot of that kind of defensive specific questions. But I think, and maybe I'm just weeks 14 through 16. No, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Playoffs here.
Playoffs. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Screw it. My Steelers. Weeks 14 through 16 have really great matchups. I like them. I like them a lot. Arizona, Buffalo, and the Jets. I think those are solid. I mean, maybe a tiny bit down on the Buffalo week, but I think those are both going to be really great games because all 3 of them, really, it's going to be great matchups for the Steelers. I mean, the way that they've just been dominating and just catching and just completely messing up these quarterbacks that are normally so stoic in the pocket, I just think they're going to have a great rest of season for you.
You know, another team that has 2 of those opponents in common, the Baltimore Ravens. They play the Buffalo Bills,
they're good
New York Jets, and then the Cleveland Browns, who seem to be a team that can't seem to find their identity. So for me, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, no, I think agree. Those are both really good defenses. Obviously, I'm not the best Ravens fan, but I completely agree. Fantasy purposes, they have great matchups this week. So
don't make it personal. It's not.
Take it personal all the time.
Football. It's fantasy football. You can't take it personal.
Wait, this one's great. Victor says, train the cat to get a White Claw.
I saw that comment a while ago, and I didn't touch the board because I wanted you to react to it.
That I need to. Although, you know what? He does play fetch, but it's usually with like smaller things.
Sandy, get me a bottle of wine.
Knox, get me a White Claw. He just looks at me like, you haven't fed me in like an hour.
Gadget dog.
Go Gadget cat. Amazing. Will Jenkins, thanks for the fantasy advice, guys. You're the best. We appreciate you, Will, every week.
Yeah,
tune
thanks,
in
Will.
with your awesome questions. We appreciate you so much. Do you see any other questions you want to just get to real quick? I don't know that we've seen any. We've got some other great comments. You guys have been awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what was with Andrew. I know that this man, I don't get it, man. He's calling me out on karaoke on Friday. I'll ask you this: favorite karaoke song. I'll even ask our listeners this: favorite karaoke song they like to go to when they actually have to get up on stage and sing something.
Baby Got Back.
Oh, that's Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's so boring.
It's so good. You can dance the entire time you're singing it. Come on. That's a fantastic song. And it always impresses people when you know all the words and don't have to look at the prompter, because that is me.
I sing Prince Ali, Ali Ababa.
Do you really?
That and Gaston. Oh, no.
That's just
Anyway. So I think that we should probably wrap this up because we're starting to go down a karaoke hole that I don't know if I can actually come out of. So,
yes.
Andrew, thank you, pal. I know we have a lot of fun at karaoke, man.
Yeah.
Here in Cadillac, Michigan.
If we didn't get to your questions, guys, please hit us up on Twitter. Derek and I are relentless with this. He is at dtater4. I am at Samantha R. Holt. I am always jumping on there. We will answer your questions. Please at us. And then really quickly, oh my God, this cat will not stop. He just needs to say hi. Say hi, Knox.
Why, Knox?
He's like, this is where you feed me. Look how he hates to be held.
Knox,
look, something.
Look,
that's expensive. That's expensive.
I think Knox just wants to make an appearance on the mic. Come on.
I know, he's so terrible. But again, thanks guys for tuning in. Please give us a follow. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the Fantasy Focused YouTube channel so you never miss an episode of not just the Fantasy Debate, but all the other awesome shows that they have to offer. And every Sunday morning, if you are tinkering in your lineup, tune in. They are live again Sunday morning, bright and early. Derek's going to hit you with the time on that.
Yeah, it's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, I mean, of course, I can break it down per time zone, but do the math. It's fine. It's Grace Show. We actually brought to you by the Original Hooters. We have the medium, mild, and hot picks every single day or every single Sunday at noon Standard Time. So, yeah, a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on the show.
Yeah. So again, if you're tinkering with your lineup at the last minute, tune in. They jump on questions super fast, and those guys are awesome. I mean, it's not just Derek, but you've also got Ryan Levy, and you got the Bucks. He's always there for the fun times. So even though I'm not on the show, unless one of them is sick, which I love joining in whenever I can.
We got a couple.
This is a great one.
Songs. We got Victor with "Hard Knock Life," and then we got Nick Bird,
"Bump and Grind" from R. Kelly.
His left hand. Working a mouse with his right hand. Just click. Nice. Clicking that like button, clicking the subscribe button. Yep. He actually already clicked the subscribe button, but go to karaoke song "Bump and Grind."
Yeah.
And an R. Kelly mention.
Don't love it. Don't love it. I do love that song, Remix to Ignition. That's on a couple of my playlists. And every time it comes on, I start dancing and I'm like, oh, you ruined it. But that's okay. Again, guys, please subscribe. Please follow us. Hit us up with any other questions you have. One more quick sign off for me. 4 teams on a bye. And cheers.
Uno mas.
You guys have a great week 11. We wish you all nothing but wins.
Until next time. Later, says Tater.